I don't think I thought this through because it's either I'm gonna fall or all the books will fall. And I'm really trying to capture all the books. Ta-da! Are we excited? You should be. Because your girl is recording on the floor, I have two pillows. So this is what I'm gonna sit on because my knees are killing me. And I'm only 23, so. Okay guys, so we're gonna start with first book, which I purchased from Target. Unfortunately, I only found one book, which was special edition hardcover that I liked from Target. And it was Perfect Divorce. I can't even explain to you how many amazing reviews I've heard about this book. Personally, I'm not really big on detectives or thrillers, never been a fan, but after I started reading Housemaid, that completely changed my life. I just started trying out new thrillers, new detective stories, and just all these plot twist books. You could never turn back. It's these type of books where you just finish them in one seating. Like you sit down with them and you finish them in less than 48 hours. So Perfect Divorce is one of them. The storyline is basically about husband and wife, and I guess husband was cheating the whole time on the wife. Wife is some super amazing successful lawyer. So now when the mistress, apparently somebody kills the mistress, again, I don't know if it's the wife or the husband, we don't know, but all I know is that she's going to trial to defend her husband in the affair that was done to her. To me, the plot is plotting. A successful lawyer defending her husband who was cheating on her the entire time because his mistress was just found dead. Do I need to say anything? No, I don't. The biggest thing about this book is how pretty it is. Besides it being a hardcover, the edges. Look at this. The blood. But I know it looks scary, kind of, because when I first showed it to my mom, she said, absolutely not, like, you crazy. But I said, you just don't get it. And you're never gonna get it. Girls say, get it, get it. So, yeah, this is the book. And what I love the most, if you take the cover off, look at this. This looks like a notebook. And I like the bullets. I like the whole design is everything to me. I can read it without a cover. But the cover is also so pretty. They also had a red edition. That's what Target sells, white and red edition. But the red, I guess in the mix with red edges was not really, I don't know, to me it just didn't look that appealing. So I picked the white one. The white one was actually the last one. So I guess the white one are more popular. But yeah, I'm super excited about this. I heard so many people loving it. So yeah, that's what I bought from Target. Super excited to read this one. Now we're gonna start with Barnes & Noble. Before I even continue this video, I just want to point out the fact that I just recently became a part of a book talk community and just start reading just a couple of months ago. So the books that I've picked today may be very typical and the most popular that almost everybody read, but I haven't. So please don't judge me and just give me some grace because I'm super excited. I'm kind of glad that I started this journey at 23 because so many people are telling me like, wow, you still didn't read this book, that book. I wish I could read it for the first time. And yeah, I'm super excited to be on this train. The whole journey just started with me reading all Harry Potter books, and even that I was just like, yeah, I don't want to read Harry Potter books. I watched all the movies, I know everything. And when I finally sat down and read all the books, I was like, wow, let me buy all of them. It went from Harry Potter, Twilight, to now all the fiction, thrillers, fantasy. So yeah, now I only bought one fantasy book just because I don't want to take a risk of getting a fantasy book and then it's either going to be too complicated for me to read because me being bilingual, some books are still a little bit too hard for me to read. So I'm not trying to go too crazy, but I did pick up this book that I think everybody and their mother, father told me about, Fourth Wing. Now, I heard that Michael B. Jordan is right now working with the production on making a movie about those books, and I've heard so many people going crazy over these books. Now, it's about dragons. I think it's about School of Dragons, I believe, and they have a very crazy storyline. A lot of people told me that it's pretty easy to read and the plot is very interesting, and I don't know, it's really thick. One of the reasons why I chose this book is also because I just recently watched Game of Thrones and House of Dragon, and I loved it. I loved it so much, and I wish in Game of Thrones they showed more about dragons and the whole storyline about it. So that's why I started watching the show House of Dragon, which is after Game of Thrones. So yeah, so many people loved it. It's about dragons, teenagers, love, crazy plot twist, crazy love story. So I'm super excited. I believe this is the first out of three. And the author, which is Rebecca Yarros, she's coming up with a fourth book, I believe, this year. So I decided that I might as well start reading this book. Now I'm gonna show you thrillers and more of a fiction slash detective books, which I'm so excited about. Honestly, my love, like I said, came from reading Housemaid, and I was postponing reading Housemaid for so long because I thought it was a whole different storyline, and I'm really not a fan of thrillers or detectives. I think it always either gave me nightmares or just, I don't know, it wasn't really giving me a good vibe. And then after reading Housemaid, I just kept buying books. It's like Housemaid, I finished it in, I believe, under 48 hours. The second book, I finished it under 24 hours. So your girl had to buy the third book. So yeah, I got the Housemaid 3. I believe they supposed to be white, but Barnes and Noble had this edition, which is, I believe, the first one is blue, the second one is red, and the third one's supposed to be white. But they didn't have white, which I was pretty upset about because I really wanted a different color for the series, but it's orange slash red. So yeah, I did go on Book Talk and I did hear that the first and second book were the best out of the trilogy of Freida McFadden, but I don't know. The two books just changed my life so much and my whole reading journey. I don't care. I'm still gonna read this book. Freida McFadden, I will have to say that after I finish the third Housemaid, I'm so going to Barnes and Noble and getting other books of hers because the way she writes is just so simple and straight to the point. And the plot twist of her books, I don't think I've ever seen something like that before. Now, again, I haven't read that many books in my life. I get it, but so many people can agree with me. Her books and her style of writing is just everything. So definitely reading this one. And after that, I'm definitely gonna start other books of hers. So super excited. Really high expectation. Okay, the next one, I'm super excited about this one because I've never read the books from this author, but I heard she's coming out with a new movie for that book. So Verity. Now, my reason why I chose this book. I've never read any books of Colleen Hoover, whatever. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I've heard, again, yes, I watch a lot of book talk. I understand. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I listen to a lot of book communities, people who are obsessed with reading. So yes, my opinion is based on popularity. It's based on majority. So it is what it is. Just take it. This book, this author, I know she came up with a movie recently for the book that's, I think the name is It Ends With Us. Now, I watched the movie. It was okay. And after that movie, I was like, yeah, I'm not reading those books. I don't think this is my style. I think it's just going to be too, just, it won't be what I'm looking for. But this book, from what I've heard, this is similar to Housemaid, not fully, but the plot is kind of similar. It's kind of that with a crazy plot twist where you just can finish this book in one seat because it's that good. And I know it's gonna be soon to be a major motion picture. And I know in that movie we're gonna have Dakota Johnson, which I love this actress, and Anne Hathaway. I just know I have to finish this book. The movie comes out, I believe, October 2nd, 2026, which is literally in a couple of months from now. So I need to read this book before the movie comes out. So many people loved it. I've heard amazing reviews about this book. And a lot of people said that this book is what got them to read other of her books. So we're gonna see if I'm gonna start reading her books. But yeah, I'm super excited about this one. If it is similar to Housemaid, I'm super excited. I don't necessarily look for the same plot story, but I'm looking for this, just when you like read the book and catching breath on every single you know, the storyline is so good where you like, I can't eat, I can't sleep, I don't want to see anybody, I just want to lock myself in a room and just finish this damn book. From what I heard, this is one of those books. So I'm super excited about Variety. I did not read the back, so I have no idea what the storyline is about. I just chose it blindly because of how many people recommended it to me. And a lot of people actually mentioned to me that don't read the back, just go into this journey blindly and just read it. So this is what I'm gonna do. So excited. Now, the next book, I don't even know why I picked it, but I was walking right past the section of really popular thrillers, detectives, and this book was at the very top. So I picked it up, touched it, read the back, and I was like, yeah, you crazy. But you're going home with me. The Silent Patient. Now, this book, let me tell you something. I still have not read it. I just bought it. But just the whole storyline of a wife that just randomly comes back home on a random Tuesday, Thursday, whatever day that was, that has a good life, lives in a good house, she's happy, and just comes on a random day back from work and just shoots her husband 5 times in his face. Right. I'm not even done yet. Just listen to this plot, right? Criminal psychotherapist Theo Faber is captivated by Alicia's story and jumps at the opportunity to work with her. His determination to get her to talk and unreveal the mystery of why she shot her husband will take him down the path more unexpected and more terrifying than he ever imagined. Yeah. I know something was wrong with me when I picked up this book, but then I jumped on TikTok and I was like, okay, I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. It's okay. I'm super excited about this one. This is the type of stories that I fell in love with reading after Housemaid, and also the other book that I picked, The Perfect Divorce. It's kind of similar story where you think you know what's gonna happen, you kind of have an idea, and then it completely goes in a whole different direction and makes you question your whole entire existence. Yeah, yeah. That's the type of books I'm into lately. I read other books as well, but just, yeah, I don't have to explain. Next two books are the books that I picked out with more of a unforbidden love slash stalking. Yeah, something is wrong with me. I don't. The craziest part is when I was picking those books and telling my boyfriend about the plot. He, I know he loves me, but the way he just looked at me, he was like, "Why are you reading these books? Like, what is wrong with you? What kind of unhealthy pattern do you have?" I'm like, nothing. I'm a lover girl at heart. Don't get me wrong. I'm a hopeless romantic. But yeah, by the books I'm reading, you can think otherwise. It's all right. I can survive. Twisted Games. Hear me out. I've never read anything by Anna Hong. I think that's her name. But I know she has book series named Twisted, which I believe Twisted Love, Twisted Hate, and Twisted Lies. Now, I did buy the book Twisted Love, and I finished it, and I had mixed emotions. At the beginning, I think it was a little bit too slow for me, and the plot, it was good, and at the end, towards the end, yes, she delivered. But I did hear that Twisted Love was the least favorite book out of the series, and the top book in the series was Twisted Games, Unforbidden Love. Now, the first one was enemies, no, not enemies to lovers. Something like she was a good girl, he was a bad boy. Very typical, with a little bit of a plot twist, which I did like the book. But this, in the first book, all these friends that kind of connected and correlated to each other, each book will be about this couple. So I believe it's 4 girls, 4 boys, and they all fall in love with each other, and they have complete different love stories. So Twisted Games is about Bridget, who is a princess, and I believe it was her security guard that she fell in love with, and he fell in love with her, and it's a whole major storyline. But yeah, I did hear that Twisted Games is up there. So I do have high expectations because Twisted Love, I had an expectation that I'm going to just fall in love with it and finish it just in less than a day. but I didn't. I actually finished Twisted Love, I think within a week. This one, I only got it because so many people told me that please don't give up on Twisted series just because of the book one. So I was like, you know what? The same as I do with people, I give them second chances. I'll give this book a second chance. Now the next one, don't judge me, but if you know, you know. I swore to myself that I will never ever get this book, that I will never read it, because I've heard about this book and I've heard about what was done. And it's spicy. That's all I'm gonna say. It's a spicy book. One night I was scrolling through TikTok and Instagram like I usually do, and I liked this one video with the storyline, and there was an audio playing, and I guess that was an audio from the book, and it was that specific book. So I was like, okay, I'm getting it. Yeah. Lights out. I think something might be wrong with me. What happened with my lovey-dovey personality? Like, the craziest part is that I wanted this book so bad to the point where I had to force my boyfriend to go to Barnes & Noble and get this for me. Now, jokes are on me because when I heard about this book, I was very open and very vocal on how much I don't like this book, how people who read this book are so crazy. All I'm gonna say, don't judge people. Don't judge people, because you might be one of them one day. So I'm not gonna say on YouTube channel what is this book about, but if you know, you know. Watch TikTok. Please go on TikTok and they will tell you exactly what this book is about. But this is more of a stalker falls in love with his victim, and then it's just very spicy. It's so spicy to the point where people, yeah, I'm not gonna even continue because this is really bad. It's pretty thick. Yeah, I believe this is the first out of 3. So I got the first one. I didn't buy the second one, and they just actually came out with a third one, which is green. And I loved how pretty those books are. And I really wanted to get the special edition, but they didn't have it at Target or Barnes & Noble. So I just got the most basic one, which is the first one. It doesn't have sprayed edges or anything, but yeah. Go on TikTok and read about this book. And if you did read this book, please tell me, how did you like it? Don't tell me any spoilers, but I just want to see support and understanding from other people that I'm not the only one. Here we are. I really wanted to find books that gonna make me feel emotional and just put me through a ringer. Like, I want the books that will make me cry, real tears on my couch as I'm reading it. So, The Last Letter. I didn't read the back. I have to say, I didn't read the back. I just picked it again blindly because actually that book was so much on my For You page on TikTok and Instagram. And a lot of book talk bloggers that I'm watching just recently read this book, and all of them were crying. I even watched a couple of the male book talkers, which it's not that many guys recording book talks. I've seen grown men crying about this book. Now, I don't know what's the storyline. It is pretty thick, but The Last Letter, and I see this little, I believe something related to the military. I'm just taking a guess, but yeah. I know it's a love story. I know it's really, really sad. I don't know anything about what's supposed to happen in this book, but they told me real tears will come out of you. Like, you're gonna be crying, throwing up. So I'm excited. The next book is 1,000 Boy Kisses. This book, I actually bought it with my boyfriend when me and him went Barnes & Noble shopping. And I was specifically searching for this book, I believe for the last hour, because we came to Barnes & Noble at 8 p.m. Now, if you know, Barnes & Noble only works till 9. So by the time they were already announcing on the radio that we're closing in 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, When I tell you, I had to take off my shoes and run barefoot around all over Barnes and Noble just to find this book. They had, I believe, a thousand broken pieces, which I believe is the second part to this book. I believe so. I don't know. Check me if I'm wrong. But this book, it was nowhere to be found. I kept asking the workers who worked there that, hey, do you have this book? They're like, we don't know. It shows that we're sold out, but we might have one hidden somewhere. Because sometimes when people change their mind about the book, they just put it in a random section. So your girl was working. I was barefoot, running in my little sundress, looking for this book. So the next book is similar to this book, but the cover is actually very dark. Now, I've seen this book a lot at the store, even before I started to read, and I was like, yeah, I would never. It just sounds depressing and sad. Now look at me buying it at 23. Come on now. If he had been with me, and like a broken lollipop in the shape of a heart. Pretty thick, right? This book, I've seen it a lot. Anytime I would go to Target, Walmart, any other store, not even necessarily a bookstore, this book will be there. And I just always hated the cover, not because there's something wrong with it, but because I'm like, who would even read something so depressing? Like, it's probably something about one-sided love story where she loved him and he never loved her back, because the name of it is literally If He Had Been With Me. So what, you fell in love with somebody who you're not supposed to love, or he doesn't love you back? I don't know what's the storyline, but when I saw it, I remember I seen it on TikTok and people told me it was good. Now, actually, I will not lie. I will say that it divided in two different camps. There were a lot of people who loved that book and a lot of people who hated it. Actually, a lot of people said that this book is better than this one. I don't know. I want to check out for myself, because sometimes, honestly, I'll record a separate videos about my personal opinion and my review of the most popular books on TikTok, and I will tell you how I actually felt about them, because there were some books that were recommended by TikTok and it had like 5 stars. Everybody was talking so good about it, and I hated it. I genuinely hated it. Not hated it, but it wasn't it. It was okay. It was okay for somebody who's 15 and just started to read about love. Yes, but for me, adult 23, no, it was kind of boring. Yeah. But anyway, this book, I picked it up because when I finally touched it and I kind of, I didn't read anything, but I just kind of scroll it and I was like, should I just get it? Let's just get it. But yeah, I did do my research. People said it's also something sad, something that puts you through emotions. And I believe this is the first one out of two. The second one is the white one, and it's If Only I Had Told Her. Anyway, Love in Other Words. I am super excited to start reading this book because from what I've heard, it's not spicy. It's nothing crazy plot twist, but it's just this good romantic books with amazing, amazing characters. Now, again, I didn't read it. I'm just telling you what I've heard from social media and book talks and YouTubers that I'm watching on a daily basis. And people loved it. Loved it. I don't know if they have a movie for this book, because the name Love in Other Words reminds me of something. I just don't know what it is. Now, correct me if there is a movie about it, or they're gonna make a movie about this book. I don't know. Correct me again if I'm wrong. But yes, so it's a dynamic love story. Will restore anyone's faith in love. I have high expectations. I do. It's also pretty big, but I don't know. I was looking for some good romantic book, but I don't want something of a high school slash, I don't know, something like children's book. I want like a love story that I can read as an adult and be like, wow, that was beautiful. And the last book on my book shopping list, The 7-Year Slip. I've seen this book again. I've seen this book at Barnes and Noble in the romance section, and it was literally, this stand in the middle with the books. This book will always be on this stand, and I've seen it a lot. but it just wasn't catching my attention because of the cover, because it's just like, what is this about? And the 7 year slip, what is this, the age gap? Like, what is this about? But apparently, I believe, again, I don't remember specifically because I didn't really read the back, because I personally love going into the books blindly, which I know it's not necessarily the smartest way to start your book journey or do book shopping, period. But sometimes I feel like it's so much better for me because I like reading books where I don't know what's going on. I don't know anything. I never met you guys. I'm talking about characters. I never met you guys. I don't know what's going on. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm so excited to post this and show it to you guys. I'm excited about the vlog and my book haul. So if you liked it, let me know, and I'm gonna try to record more videos like that, because I spend most of my time, like my free time, at bookstores or reading. So I love talking about it. I like watching videos like that. So I really hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video.